Once in a while. In modern railroading, short hood forward is a common practice. That's because the engineer has better visibility of where they need to go. Sometimes cab forward steam locomotives run in short hood forward, which is common for them. Amtrak is the most common type of passenger train in the United States today, going to 9 cities in Canada and other ones in the United States, because they are really useful. Sometimes the trains can be double-ended, which they have a locomotive and cab at both ends, so they don't need to turn the train around. This saves time and money. Sometimes Amtrak locomotives pull trains in long hood forward, because that's more common with steam locomotives. And this is really useful for what Amtrak really does. Wendy the woman locomotive was shunting freight cars in the yard. Mr. Eccleston arrived. Malpy's off island today, he said. I want you to do her passenger duty. Sounds good, sir, said Wendy, and she steamed out of the yard. She buffered up to the commuter cars, and she was in a rush. Now let's get going, she said. And she steamed out of the station. Then there was trouble. She puffed away so quickly, well, she was very excited, that the cab car was left behind! It was unattended! Then an inbound commuter train came in. Then, when it came, there was trouble. It bumped the cab car unattended, then it rolled away, and Cheyenne was approaching. This can't be good, she said. Bruce, too late. Wendy was feeling pleased with herself. She was being helpful. Then she realized something. I'm missing the cab car, she said. I must back up. And she backed down the line to find the control car. Are you alright, Cheyenne? Asked Wendy. Of course I'm alright! Whined Cheyenne. I'll take the passengers for you, said Wendy, and she buffered up the Amfleet once, and she set off with all of her might. This is the best train ever, said Wendy. Then she steamed on to the penthouse corridor. She stopped at Plofsburg Central Station. Then Sasha was approaching with her express. Sasha was feeling pleased with herself until a malfunction happened in her engine. What was that? She said. Then black smoke began to come out from funnel. I must come through, coughed Sasha. And then she broke down. What happened, Sasha? Asked Wendy. One of my crank pins snapped in half, she said. I must get it. Then there was trouble. She threw up, and then her Amfleet cars were shunted into place. I didn't know engines can throw up, Wendy said grossly. That's Restrum language. But she wished Sasha to feel better, and then the passengers inside the Amfleet cars were enjoying themselves. Then she steamed through a station. Further up ahead was a traffic jam because a locomotive was leaking oil. It was stuck. I'll have everyone's trains delivered in no time, said Wendy. That's a good idea, said Posey. I'll deliver the diapers on time. So will I deliver my goods, said Milena. Camille's right, said Shelley. And then the baggage car was shunted. And then all the freight cars and coaches were shunted. The last line was shunted into place. It looked like that locomotive had diarrhea with an upset stomach, Wendy said, but that was vulgar. And then her driver made a farting sound, which was vulgar. Disturbing thoughts are more extreme, her driver said. Western language is not that bad. And then the Acela Express came into view. It was called Locaria. And then Wendy passed it. Then there was trouble. She began to go out of control. Oh no, help! Cried Wendy. This is the most grossest train ever! And then she sped by Becky. Slow down, Wendy! You're going way too fast! Said Becky firmly. She rocketed out of control, but her brakes were malfunctioning. And she was speeding. And then she rocketed around curves. What the stupid curvature! She said. This is high speed for me! It was way too heavy for her to handle. It was far too fast. Ahead was a restaurant, and people were eating inside. Wendy didn't see the curvature ahead of her until it was too late. Luckily, no one was hurt, but the freight cars and coaches were all derailed, and Wendy had gone right into the dining room. "I'm covered in these condiments," she said. Mr. Eccleston arrived on board Katie. He was a little disappointed. "It's nice of you to help your friends," he said, "but putting them in all one train was very unresponsive. Next time, just ask." "Good idea, sir," Wendy said. "That's what a woman train approves of." "Exactly right," said Katie. "A woman locomotive is always good." "That's right, Katie. It's not easy to beat a woman locomotive." And then the passengers were on the Acela Express, and it set off on its way. And then Treva brought Wendy to the steam engine works. "Thank you for helping me," said Wendy. "I'm really useful. Next time I'd want to do someone's work, I'll just separate them into separate trains." "That sounds like a good idea," said Sasha.